Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, back to my channel, and today I wanted to start the series which I go over the NA, EU, JP, and all the oceanic servers, pick one server and focus on it specifically. Starting with Gilgamesh today, I'm going to tell you just how you can make a ton of money with only being on Gilgamesh. So with all that being said, let's get into it. And of course, as with every video, I have the blog post containing all the lists and resources linked down below in the pinned comment. So if you don't want to listen to me yap along, you can read instead. But my main goal with this series is, instead of giving generalized Gil making advice, I'm going to go on every single server in the game and give specified advice. Since watching a video on how to make Gil is pretty good, but if you know that things are a lot different on your server than on mine, then of course stuff is not really gonna match up. But I include lists, of course, and Saddlebag Exchange presets, which means this video will be still relevant months down the line. But now let's start off with crafting. Now I could go ahead and just tell you to go and craft gathering and job gear, which you'll make Gil, but number one, it's a lot harder to undercut on high pop servers, especially when it's something like gear. If it's that bad on Louisaw, it's going to be even worse on a server like Gilgamesh. So a lot of this is not really endgame crafting, but still very profitable, which is nice, that since if you don't have the best stats, or sometimes you might not even have to be max level, you can still make Gil. But of course, you could go ahead and craft gathering and crafting and job gear, but I personally would not recommend it. Instead, I have 6 presets for you to choose from and one big team craft list. And if you craft all of the things that are in that list, you'll make 13.5 million in profit. So pretty good. And depending on what you want to craft, you can use the preset to see what's best on your server, and you can use the presets to see what's best on Gilgamesh right now. So that's why this video is still relevant later on. But let's check out one of the presets. All you have to do to open the preset is click whichever one you wish on this list. It'll open a new tab, and here you have the parameters. You can fiddle around with these parameters if you would like to, but since we're not looking for something to flip, ROI and profit amount is not important to us. All we care about is within the set amount of hours, 155 have been sold so far. So since this is furniture, this is good enough for me, and I'm looking for the stuff that is worth the most. Make sure you're on the correct server and hit search. So there are a lot of parameters here. There's only one that matters for us, and that is home server price. So of course you could go ahead, flip it if you would like to. Something on Adamantoise right now is 1.5 million, but you can sell it on Gilgamesh for 1.8. But if you went ahead and crafted this yourself, you would make an even higher profit. So this is great since we can always see what's selling for the most amount. Make sure that the price is the highest down to the lowest. And right now you can easily see what's the most expensive right now. The Oriental Grass Plot, some exteriors, miniature heaven on high, but some of these are not craftable, so do be careful, such as the Silden side table. But if you want to, you could go ahead and flip. But overall, take a look, see what's the most expensive. But if you don't feel like compiling and getting all the information yourself, I have a pre-made teamcraft list. You can find the list here, open it up in a new tab, and here is the Gilgamesh crafting list. Now it is a pretty big list with 46 items, but you can double or triple it if you see that certain items are selling very well. But I found all these items using the Saddlebag Exchange, so every 150 hours, a minimum of 5 have been sold every time. So that way, all these items you know have been guaranteed to sell this week, last week. Once you have the list open, go up to spending, click fill prices based on market board prices, and then fill prices based on market board prices, your server only, down here. Once you have that all done, then you'll see the total amount. You'll be spending 12.7 mil, which is quite a lot, but you'll be making back 25.9 mil with a profit of 13 million, which is pretty good. Again, this is pre-made for you using the Saddlebag Exchange, which is pretty good as of 2/10/2023. Although if you're watching this video a lot later on, check if the team craft list is still good. But one way you can guarantee that you'll never lose money is by also checking the price to craft. The Calfskin Rider's Jacket, craftable at 600,000, you can sell it for 1 million, so that is profitable. Everything here should be profitable, but again, if you're watching it later on, check before you craft. And use the presets, they will always be good. But now let's go ahead and take a look at gathering. I have two lists. One with some basic gathering and ether sands. I specifically avoided, again, the end game gatherables since there's way too much undercutting and really not worth it for the amount of time spent. And I also included stuff for gathering scripts. So if you don't want to do gatherables, you can just do gather scripts. But let's go ahead and take a look at the first list, which if we fill it out completely, we'd make 5.7 million gil in profit. And here is the list. Again, a lot of these items are lower level, such as silver ore or granite. You can send out your retainers along with you whenever you're out gathering. There are 3 aether sands. Again, if the undercutting is too much, you can avoid them and not do them. The other gatherables are pretty darn good and accessible, especially for people who don't have the best gear. And here are some worthwhile items that you can spend your white gather scripts on. But if something like tear glow sand is pretty low right now, you can skip that and instead buy some more materia, a different aether sand like the Agewood, or something like sphalerite. But if you want to know how many scripts you have to go ahead and get for this entire list, you can go here to total trades and see just how many you'll need. And for all these gather scripts, you're going to need 36,000 white ones and 1,500 purple. Another way to quickly find out what are some good gatherables at the very moment that you're watching is by going to the retainer ventures and instead putting a retainer, put in your stats instead. So I'm just going to fill out with botanist the best stats possible, and you can hit search. And there are usually some weird ones at the very top, but you can see quickly that brown pigment is selling for 1k each. If you only just go ahead and mine 50 of them, you're going to be making 52,000. Purple pigment, horse chestnut log is also pretty good. Red pigment, sweet asylum, sweet alyssum is also pretty good. And of course, even if this video is old, you can still use this no matter what time you're watching. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the farming. Farming is great, especially if you don't like crafting or gathering or any of that. You can just do content and make gil. So this is a mixture of Grand Company seal spending, boss farming, Bosha, and fate farming. If you fill everything out in this list, you'll be making 38 million gil in profit. And here is the list. Even though there's some crafting pieces, you don't have to do any of that. It's just because these items can be either bought with Grand Company seals or crafted. You can go to total trades and see how much currency you're going to need if you're doing it by bicolor gemstones, bowstring clusters, and storm seals, 2,500 bicolor gemstones, 1.4k bowstring clusters, and 1.5 million storm seals. It's a big list. You can pick and choose what you want to do instead of filling out the whole entire thing, especially if something is better than another, then pick what you would like to do. But of course, we're going to go to pricing mode and see where exactly we're getting the prices from. And if there is a 0 on your list, you can go ahead and see with the market board information what it's generally selling at on other servers, since this is just not being sold on your server right now. And there it is, no items found, but was just sold for 300,000 gil today. So you can fill in 300,000 and now your list is worth a little bit more. Also, same with this orchestra roll. It was last sold on Gilgamesh for 380,000, but I'm looking at the other servers and it's going for 650,000 right now. So I'm going to put in 650,000. Also, same with the dispelling arrow and the things at the bottom. Since you can't technically have it at high quality, you want to move the 50 over to here on the normal quality side. Now our list is worth even more, and if you finish it entirely, you can make 39 million gil, which is pretty darn good. Finally, we can move on to flipping. Again, we're using the Saddlebag Exchange here, and there is consumable collectible items such as mounts, minions, furniture flipping, glamour flipping, everything flipping with a minimum profit amount of 100,000, and materia quick sell. So depending on what you want to go ahead and flip, you can pick and choose from these presets or make your own. But let's go ahead and pick one of these presets to see. So I'm going to go ahead and go on the consumable collectible items preset here. Everything is correct, and I'm going to hit search. So every 168 hours, 2 of these are being sold, and there are some high ticket items here. You can spend 24 million on the pinky identification key, but sell it for 52 million and make 24 million back. Next up is the Wind Up Billows, viable at 12.5 million on Cactar, but you can sell it for 23 million on Gilgamesh. Next up is the Sylvan Throne, viable at 11 million, but sellable at 16.7 million Gil, with a profit of 4.7 mil. But if these items are a little bit too expensive for you, you can just scroll down. You can buy the orchestral Cracks in the Wall for 94k, but sell it at 336k, which is pretty good. Within 168 hours, which is roughly a week, 2 of them have been sold. So you would have made around 600k within just 1 week with just that orchestra roll, if you sold the orchestra roll those both times. But pick and choose which preset fits you best. If something is a little bit too expensive, screw out the parameters, and if you're interested, I do have a video all about the saddlebag exchange, so you can click on that also down below in the pinned comment. So guys, that's how you can make millions of Gil on Gilgamesh. Hopefully this can help out the people on Gilgamesh on how to make Gil. Of course, I'm going to be doing the other NA servers as well. I didn't pick a specific order. I just think someone told me to do Gilgamesh, so I went ahead and did it first. If you want your server to be done, let me know down below, and let me know if this advice will help you out. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and of course thank you to our YouTube members, Twitch subs, and Discord boosters. You all keep the channel going. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye-bye!